Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. So we have our regular crew here with Mage and Jenny. And in the side check, I saw Beck and Greg Hartwitt.
So we got meaning of her name, huh?
Yeah. That's what came up in the holiday days and it seemed kind of interesting.
Purple, the big reason you don't want cats on your counter is not because they'll drink the dirty dishwater. It's because they track up from their litter box onto your counter, and then you put your food there, and then you eat it.
Yeah, I know. I know all about that. I just...
Ew.
Yeah, it's gross all the way around. That's why I don't want them up on the kitchen counters. Oh, and there's Harmonica Man.
By the way, I need to protest today's topic.
Why is that?
Because that's not correct. It's National Oreo Day.
It is that too. Today is the anniversary of the invention of the Oreos. I'm not sure. I think it's like the day they first went on sale.
Well, I'm not certain for sure, but it is National Oreo Day, and I think that we should be ashamed of ourselves for not recognizing that and not celebrating it. I have my Oreo costume on. Okay, I don't know about you guys.
I have no Oreos.
God, what kind of Americans are you people?
Do you know that Oreos were actually the knockoff, that the Hydrox came out first?
Prove it, man. Prove it.
I read it on the internet, so it must be true.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And
who made him? Mary Todd Lincoln? Huh? Who made him? Mary Todd Lincoln?
Is that a multiple choice, Mary Todd or Lincoln?
Yes. Hi, Angie.
Yeah, I generally do not put food down directly on the counters. It's always, on a cutting board or something, but...
Yep. Oreo came out in 1912, 111 years ago, and Hydrox came out in 1908, 116 years ago.
Okay, thank you for finding that for me. It's something I knew I had read at some point.
Well, it was way back then. They didn't even have telephones. How would they know what each other's doing? Come on, you're just making this up.
Hello, Victoria.
And looking up the name Jenny, we have the diminutive form of Jennifer, which translates to fair or soft. Yeah, did you pick the wrong name?
I am neither.
Oh, you're not soft and cuddly?
Not in public, no. I have an image to uphold here, Yeah, okay, well, what does mage mean?
Yeah, a magic user mostly. I got the name off of a Final Fantasy magazine.
Yeah, but mage is a title, not a name. You don't see any kids named president or senator.
Don't give them ideas.
Would you ever share your real first name?
Probably not.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah, same. I'm not going to make mine public.
Boy, you two owe me a lot of money.
My full name would make it very easy to find me.
Yep.
Well, I looked on the website, and my name, just Jenni, how I use it is like one of 9 or something like this in the country.
Oh, with that spelling?
Yeah, I found that more. I found that pretty hard to believe, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I find that
I
hard to
would
believe
think
too.
so. Okay, apparently beck means stream or brook.
and what does demon mean?
Well, I think it just means one of Satan's minions. Angie means messenger of God. That's pretty ironic for an atheist.
Well, demon is evil spirit or devil.
Does Victoria speak in third person, or I don't understand this?
Yeah, I actually, Victoria, I'd like an explanation for that myself, because I've, been seeing you around for a long time, and I never understood why you're saying that I'm Victoria. But
So,
Victoria means the winner or conqueror.
yep.
Yeah, so you're sticking labels on other people without their consent. No, that is very frowned upon in this community. Ah. Okay, Beck has it as ever-flowing and ever-changing body of water. Yeah, well, that makes sense, and that would, it would be a stream. It's that Native American thing that you can never step in the same stream twice because the water is always moved on.
As long as you're not stepping in a pea stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just, Angie can just go with winner.
It's been my experience that women named Victoria do not like being called Vicky. I should say not women who are named Victoria, but women who use their name Victoria.
Yeah, it has been my experience that they like Vicky as a child, but yeah, after they get to the high school stage, then they think it sounds too childish.
My art teacher went with Vicky.
My psychologist is named Becky. I don't call her that.
Yep, I know a woman named Victoria, but she has decided to go by Tori instead.
Well, now that should not be allowed. That's just wrong.
I can get it. She wanted a less common variant. Oh.
Let's see here.
Zuckerberg.
The most common name in the world, as far as I understand, is Muhammad.
And the most common last name is Lee, so Mohammed Lee must be the most common name in the world.
Really? Lee is the most common last name?
Just because there are so many Chinese people named Lee.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you get when you go randomly connecting things from different cultures.
So Muhammad Lee. Well, that's the everyman's man.
Oh, what interesting
Mariah.
weather.
Mariah is most common.
Ah.
Muhammad is third.
You said Ryan is most common?
Mariah. Maria.
Okay.
Muhammad is third.
Oh, what lovely weather we're having in Minnesota. Right now it's 53 degrees with a chance of snow tonight.
No, thank you. My sinuses act like cold weather acts as allergy used to me. It's as bad as pollen mold.
Yeah, well, mine has a particularly hard time with these sudden shifts. When the temperature drops 20 degrees, yeah, then I have my nose running all night. Hey, Spooky. And Al Trucker.
What was that one movie by Eddie Murphy?
Which movie is that?
Oh, he played this robot thing that they were trying to come up with a name for him, and they were visiting Earth, and so they picked. Oh, that was it. Meet Dave, I think it was.
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
No, me neither.
They were trying to pick a very common name to blend in, and they ended up doing the whole mismatch of two different cultures, and it didn't sound right at all.
So the name was what? Dave?
So I'm trying to remember.
I know Dave Davies once.
Okay, this one, when I try to put Al, it comes back for short for names beginning with Al. That's just not very informative.
Pick one.
Okay, Alfred. Alfred means elf, ruler, or counselor.
I'll go with the elf thing.
Well, counselor fits for Batman's butler, I guess.
Oh, there it is. It's Dave Ming Chang.
Dave Ming Chang. Okay.
Okay, I think Al is most commonly used for Alan or Alex. So Alan means little rock. What is Alex? Alex is Old English for defender of the people. So if anybody named Alex is running for Congress, you should vote for him. Paul Glucklich? I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat right. Somebody new here. Not sure who that is.
Glucklich. I'm betting it's Glucklich.
Goopel? Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, of course, is the arbiter of this.
Yeah, I'm never sure what those the various punctuation marks above the vowels, because then it depends which language it's pulled from.
The umlaut.
Yep. But they can be sounded differently depending on if it's Scandinavian or Nordic or Dutch. Okay,
Oh.
and Dave means beloved.
What means beloved?
Dave.
Dave.
Captive desk is Dave.
Not any of the Daves I know.
I like the name Layla.
All right. Your name's now Layla.
Nah. I just happen to like the name. But it means night or black.
It does?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Well, it is most often when you get laid.
Well, I black out usually, but
Hopefully you don't black out before you get laid. That gets into a word we can't even say on here.
I blacked out once when I was getting laid, and I woke up in a bathtub filled with ice water, and my kidney was missing. No, it's not true.
That usually only happens on trips to Mexico.
Well, it was Texas. That's pretty much Mexico.
Okay, well, I guess that Randall is safe from mage. Randall means wolf shield.
Yeah, the Grey Wolf thing came from actually a cartoon. Going on the adventure. He was a wizard in the cartoon. Friend decided it'd be a good name for me. After my girlfriend died, and he thought the character was a tragic character.
Ah. Yeah, that's a bit of your history I hadn't known until now.
Well, now that's a pretty middle name. I mean, could I call you that for your first name instead? Fluffy, come here, Fluffy.
I call Sloth Girl's cat Fluffers. Just because she's a long-haired cat. She's half Maine Coon. So she's got that long fluffy fur.
And with all these variants of Spider-Man running around, with female variants and all that, I'm surprised they've only had one named Penelope, considering that the name meaning is with a web over her face.
What?
Penelope, meaning with a web over her face. So I'm kind of surprised they haven't gone with that name for any more female variants of.
I think it's pronounced Penelope.
With a web over her face. That just sounds like a strange thing for a name.
Yeah, it is. Just thought it was kind of weird that they haven't used that more for female variants of Spider-Man, though.
Yeah, apparently they've got one that's called Madam Web.
Yeah. There's only one variant I know of that they use that name for.
Yeah, what wasn't Penelope the little girl in the Wreck-It Ralph movies?
That was Vanellope.
I never watched those movies.
Yeah, that was Vanellope.
Oh, okay, that was with a V?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like vanilla.
No, Fluffers is just for the cat, not for you.
Or for porn stars.
Well, that's my dream job, actually, but
I believe in Spooky's homeland that fluffer means something quite different than what we think about as fluffy. Am I correct, Spooky?
can you still call it his homeland when he was exiled as soon as he started talking? Oh. Hey, 20 minutes of on-topic content. We really beat the average here.
Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah, I usually like to use that. We've been looking this stuff up on babynames.com. I usually like to use that site for looking up names for characters.
Yep, I've used it for that a lot too. Especially sometimes when I need to find an unusual name. It's too bad there isn't one with like a reverse lookup that you could enter one or two word meaning and it would come up with a name for you.
Oh, you can do that. Just go over where it says baby names and Where did it go? There should be an advanced search on the search baby names. Yeah, there we are. Search baby names and you can type in the meaning. Starts
Oh.
with, ends with, meaning, female, male, gender neutral, syllables, yada. Gives you the advanced search.
Okay, I had missed the one with the meaning. I'd missed that option.
I would like mine to be a lover of burnt bacon sandwiches.
He was interested in seeing what the hell we're talking about. That's the site. Add in, so we got the starts with, and this advanced search is found right here under search baby names. It used to say advanced search, but I guess they changed it.
Yeah, I still have one character I haven't settled on a name for. Basically, it's when this group of aliens land on Earth, so they're, the human character has to come up with names for all of them that, just don't sound anything that would raise attention.
Well, there was that one ET named Paul. He was
Okay, what does Paul mean?
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Paul?
Nope, never seen Paul.
Oh, you definitely should see it. It's very funny. Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Okay, Paul means humble or small.
Small what? Diminutive, as in diminutive, or?
It doesn't say. It just says small.
Is in various measurements.
Yeah, I'm feeling that neither of those meets for Paulogia.
I always suggest to people to go back, go to Google and do a search for baby names and then the year you were born and see what was popular. See how much your parents loved you or hated you.
Yeah.
Well, the name they went with me, he was the only name they wanted to go with. So they would have just gone in with a female variant if I turned out to be a girl.
Yeah, my mother never explained to me why she picked the name she did. And the only connection I can come up with is she may have had a crush on a popular actor at the time.
Let's see here. Most popular name in 1979. Number 1 for girls, Jennifer. Number 1 for boys, Michael.
What year?
1979. Year I was born.
Oh.
So your name was the most popular name when I was born.
Well, now that's interesting. I didn't pick it on that basis because there was no internet. But that's the year I picked my name.
Interesting. So is this kind of a coincident thing? Huh?
Well, 180 is almost 6 feet. That's close enough. I mean, 180, what's that? 5'10 and a half, maybe 5'11.
Yeah, you can make all the Americans do math here. Yeah, I think it's like 5'8", 5'9".
No, 5'9" is about 174.
Yeah.
0.3, I believe. Only uses freedom units. Oh, I love it.
80 centimeters, about 70.888661 in inches.
Well, I'm ready to blow off topic.
About
Unless we're going to start talking about Oreos.
5.89 feet.
What's your favorite way of eating Oreos?
5'10", yeah. Yep, it is Oreo day.
I take them apart. I eat the center, and then I eat the 2 cookie pieces.
Yeah, but how do you take them apart?
Twist them.
You do the twist. Is
I
it
do
the
the twist.
right-handed twist or the left-handed twist?
One goes clockwise, the other goes counterclockwise.
The one on top goes clockwise or counterclockwise?
I hold them sideways.
You hold them sideways and twist?
And twist, yeah.
Oh my God. Do you know how rare that is? Especially if you're doing the left twist. Wow.
I don't take them apart. I just dunk them in milk and eat them.
So my right hand goes towards me, my left hand goes away from me.
Oh. So you're right hand dominant? Okay.
Yes, very, very right hand dominant. Well, then again, I did have a stroke that kind of fucked up my left side, so.
Well, according to the baby name site, Megan is Welsh for pearl.
Oh, Spooky, you are so absolutely correct. Oreos are so awful. No, I like your Oreos. I'm not a hater. But
I like
they're
the
certainly
classic.
not the best cookie in the world.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I like the classic chocolate Oreos, but they've come out with some really bizarre flavors over the years.
I've never really had any of the other flavors.
The red velvet ones weren't all that great, but I wanted to know why they cost twice as much or 3 times as much as the standard Oreos.
Let's see, I think I've
And
had
why can't I get a bacon flavored Oreo?
See, I think I've had the mint flavored one. And I think I had the one where they had the vanilla cookie instead of the chocolate.
Yeah. Beck, I'm the same way. It's like I buy them for soft girl, but at most I just have a couple. I don't eat them very much. I seem to have lost my taste for sweets.
Okay, all right.
Years.
Here's another Oreo question. A little poll we'll take here. When you are dipping your Oreos in milk, which I bet is something we all do.
Yeah, I do.
Do you stop at your fingers or go past the fingers and stop at the end of the cookie?
Oh, I stopped dipping my Oreos in milk a long time ago.
Well, you have to stop at your fingers because if the part you're holding gets too soggy, the whole thing falls apart into the cup.
You mean you don't count how many seconds it's in there?
Nope.
I don't have a good sense of time.
Well, even if you just do St. Cloud 1, St. Cloud 2, St. Cloud 3, that's good enough breaking them up. You can try that next time. Yeah. Yep. Use the city of your choice.
Yeah, Megan, I've also been pretty well ambidextrous. I
dip to the top of the cookie. I don't care if my fingers get full of milk. I'll just lick them off later.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem if they do.
Or sometimes one of my more favorite things to do is to get a little not quite a ramekin, something more shallow, and put a little bit of milk in there, an Oreo, a little bit more milk, another Oreo, and you get about 3 of them in there with some milk, and then you mush it all up. Okay, and you make it into this like paste, and then you put more milk in to loosen the paste so that it's more like a lightweight malt or milkshake. And then you suck it up with a straw.
Beck is a double dipper.
Huh?
Beck is a double dipper.
Oh, no.
So is Angie.
Yes, but not the milk in the glass, Spooky. Come on.
The Dairy Queen Blizzards have a pretty good Oreo Blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember who made it, but it was Oreos and cream ice cream. Blech. Yeah. Blech, blech, blech. Either too much milk or not enough Oreo, one of the two.
Yeah, it depends which brand you get. The Kemp's Oreo ice cream is good.
Oh, man, what am I doing here?
I don't know if it's actually Oreo or if they just call it cookies and creams.
Hershey's makes a candy bar they call cookies and cream, which is,
Mhm.
and it's this god awful white chocolate that supposedly tastes like chocolate, and it doesn't. Tastes like wax.
I like some ice cream that's chunky. I mean, my favorite is the Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia.
Like the Haagen-Dazs pineapple and coconut.
Yeah, it's one thing we could never agree on. My late fiance kept telling me that a Ben and Jerry's was not a single serving container. I was never buying it.
Which one, the gallon?
No, just the pint.
Oh, that's
It's hard to find. It's hard to find the Ben and Jerry's in anything besides the pints.
I don't know if it's made in anything other than the pints. Maybe a quart.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I get the little tiny ones. So eat it until it starts melting, and put it back in the freezer for a while. Take it back out, eat it some more. Makes a nice snack.
Now see, Sloth Girl crocheted me a cozy for it, so that then the ice cream is not getting the heat from my hand while I'm holding it, so it doesn't melt as fast. She crocheted a cozy specifically to the size of the Ben & Jerry's container for me.
That is really super nice.
Yes, it's very cool.
Are you allowed to use it with anything other than Ben and Jerry's?
I have never tried it. I've never found out if it fits anything else.
Should fit the Haagen-Dazs. They're the same size and shape.
I've always thought Haagen-Dazs was grossly overrated. I never really thought it was, particularly good ice cream. Yeah, I'm sure some people are going to unsubscribe to me just for saying that, but I never saw the big deal with it.
I'm going to bring us back to the main topic here. I always wanted to be named ice cream. Well, never mind. At least I'm entertaining myself.
No, you gotta save entertaining yourself for after the show.
You guys will never know. There's no camera. Think I mute just for fun?
Well, as long as it's not plugged into a USB port on your computer so it causes feedback.
I wonder if there are USB-powered vibrators.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there are.
Not only USB-powered ones, but there are some that have a remote control, so your partner can activate them.
That's dull and boring. I was thinking, if it really is made that way, you could use it at work.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you could have it under your desk and. Okay. Yep.
And if the Japanese think they build such accommodating cars, why haven't they built in a vibrator yet to the seats?
Yeah, well, you know what? They'll probably put it in as one of those subscription service things that you have to pay every month or they'll deactivate it.
Oh man, wouldn't that be awful if you were using it and they deactivated it?
Why does everything have to have a subscription nowadays?
Yeah.
Would you call that North Staritis?
Cirrus just did a rant on that. It was last night on his stream about why everything has to be a subscription service, and I agree. I hate the idea of paying every month for a piece of software only to own nothing. That you can be paying for it every month for like 3 years, and as soon as you stop paying, you lose all the features.
Capitalism. Yeah, I was saying.
Yep.
Beck, we have our gas station chain here that I've spoken about numerous times. Quick Trip with a KW in one word, because there's another one down south spelled differently. Anyways, they have a lot of their own store brands, and they have a store brand Italian ice, and it's absolutely heavenly.
Yes.
They have a lemon ice that is just to die for.
Yeah, the 7-Eleven actually has their own brand of ice cream, and they have there's one that's really good. It's a banana cream pie ice cream.
Yeah, well, as soon as Jenny mentioned the Quick Trip, that was right where I was going to go to. That Sloth Girl loves their Italian ices.
Yep, their ice cream itself is not too bad either. It's definitely not premium, but it's certainly not cold wax.
Yeah, well, it's also half the price of the premiums.
Yeah, yes, it is. Which means you can eat twice as much.
Yeah, I actually had thought of buying a bunch of those banana cream pie ice cream things and actually filling up a pie thing with it, so I have an ice cream banana cream pie pie.
That would be interesting.
Sounds
Banana
good.
ice cream. Do they make banana ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The 7-Eleven, they have a banana cream pie ice cream.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. And
where
Ben
are
and
they?
Jerry's
7-Eleven.
has their Chunky Monkey with a banana ice cream with some bits in it.
Yeah, see, I just never had that one. I couldn't get the image of eating a monkey out of my head, so I just can't buy that.
Yeah, it's not one I've really cared for.
Didn't last on the topic very long, did I? I tried.
Hmm?
You guys didn't play along.
No, we did good, and I'm sure there's more that can be said about ice cream.
And who the hell would name their kid Charlton? Okay, isn't that a little pompous?
Charlton?
Yeah, it'd be like naming yourself Pope. Oh, that's what I should have done.
Named yourself Pope?
Yeah, Pope Jenny.
Okay, Charlton means from the town of the freemen. Yeah, it's when I've been picking out character names, I've been having some difficulty with it. As far as picking out names that aren't people I actually know. Just so nobody gets the idea that's a reflection on them, or especially just names of people in our community.
My first character, I introduced it outside the immediate family in my book, is a French person, and their name is completely French. I even looked it up and got correct spelling and checked for regional variations and all that kind of stuff because I wanted to say they were from Paris, and that's how they got their name. I won't tell it to you because I don't want anybody to know yet. But they're not a nice person. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Beck, the Kemp's French vanilla does use actual vanilla beans.
I want to know. Nobody's been able to answer it yet. Why do we put vanilla in virtually everything we bake?
Because it adds flavor.
Yeah, but why that flavor? I mean, curry would add flavor too.
Yeah. You know, I'd been working with my name character named Lisa. Well, although I hadn't actually looked it up, and it says the meaning is God is my oath.
Well, Denver's a good first name. There was that famous actor on TV, Denver Pyle, Pyle.
Yeah.
Not related to Gomer.
Gomer's Pile.
Gomer was very close to Rock Hudson, you know. They had a kid together named Rock Pyle.
Okay, Beck says the vanilla is because it brings out other flavors well without masking them.
Yeah, vanilla's a good flavor. It goes well with everything, and it's a good flavor on its own.
Oh, I have no complaints. I like vanilla. It's lovely. It's just why is it in everything?
Oh, Demon Orb says it's to cover the egg taste in cakes. So yeah, that would apply to quite a lot of baking.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Maybe I should try adding it to my eggs, see how it goes.
And did you know that even top professionals cannot tell the difference between true aluminum extract or aluminum
extract, huh?
vanilla extract and artificial vanilla extract?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same substance. It's just differences where it's coming from.
Yeah, but they've gotten so good at synthesizing the molecule. Well, okay. Jenny just lit up just as we started, so she'll have to wait a while to join you up there.
What?
You just lit up as we started, so you're not a mile high yet.
Yeah, but I'm really old, and so it only takes like one, and I'm having a chat with Jupiter, which, by the way, is happy to see us all and sends a hello, and I love you.
You know what? Decide to go with Nathan for the new cat. Or Ethan for the new cat, rather. I never looked that up either. Ethan means firm or strong. Actually, that fits him. He's a pretty muscular guy.
Yeah, more reason to like the name.
Yep. Yeah, when I got him from the shelter, he was named Ethel, which just mostly I didn't think that fit for a boy at all. Okay, yeah, it comes back as Ethel as being female for noble.
Let's see, you're looking up Molly's name.
Yep.
Of the sea or bitter?
Of the sea?
Of the sea or bitter?
Look up Fiona. My final argument was between Fiona and Jenny, and I didn't pick Fiona because I thought it would be too unusual.
White or fair?
That was in the 70s.
White or fair?
Well, you know, I suntan at all. Never have in my life. I can scare typing paper.
And interesting enough, you have Jennifer also meaning fair or soft. So you have gone with, so your name would have been fair either way.
Either way, it would have been fair. Not great, but fair.
Thanks.
No, see, I'm the one that gets away with the complexion joke. Then in the
Ethel,
winter, my skin tone resorts back to the Nordic.
Ethel makes me think of gasoline.
Yeah. But in the winter, my skin tone goes back to the Nordic, so I could stand in front of a snowbank and you wouldn't see me.
Back home when I was a kid in the
I might be able
'60s,
to
there
beat
was
you.
there was a local band called Methyl Ethel and the Ketones.
In high school, I actually had somebody come up and ask me if I was an albino.
Really?
Yeah.
You got pink eyes?
No.
No,
Oh.
there's another condition, I can't remember the name of it, that it doesn't affect the eyes, but it affects the skin pigment. So like it's the condition that creates the white alligators.
Well, no, it's not. Well, no,
And I can't
that's not
yeah,
albinism.
I can't remember the
Yeah,
name for it, but yeah, I think my brother has that actually because he's really pale and he has had white hair all his life.
it's not
Hey
spelled
Wes.
ETHYL.
Yeah, well the cat I got, it was spelled with a Y. That's what's on his adoption papers. Oh yeah, that's the Ray Stevens song, "The Streak," that the guy they keep interviewing keeps saying, "I screamed, 'Don't look, Ethel,' but it was too late. She'd already got a free shot."
Any of you ever do streaking?
No.
Nope.
Well, I have an uncle who did.
I have gone skinny dipping a couple of times.
And anybody in the chat ever streak? I'm suddenly afraid that I'm going to be the only person here who has ever done that. Oh no.
Well, it is part of the thing of you being a bit older that I don't think streaking was really. I don't think that stayed around much past the 70s.
No, it really never made it more than like planking did in this day and age, which I thought was just a hilarious thing for people to do in public. And then it started getting dangerous. People wanting to plank at high altitudes and all these stupid ways. No, just find places that look funny. Don't make it dangerous.
Yeah, although it's still something you see occasionally, especially in Britain, about somebody, streaking across the football pitch during a match. It seems I see stories from the UK a couple times a year of somebody trying to do that.
America needs a good serial streaker, somebody who goes to breaks, gets themselves into crashes football games, baseball games, weddings, I don't care what, and an inauguration would be good, and streaks and gets arrested and gets charged and stuff like that, but then still move on to do another one because they got a nice fat GoFundMe to cover their expenses while they're having so much fun for the country.
Yes, they call him the Streak.
Be more popular than the Flash.
Well, there is the Wizard.
The Wizard?
Yeah.
I don't know the Wizard.
He was a Marvel character. He's a speedster.
Oh, he used to fly around and piss on people, or what?
No, he was a speedster. He ran real fast.
Oh.
Though it didn't help that his costume was bright yellow.
Oh, that definitely was not accidental. Can't be accidental.
with the Marvel comics, you can never tell what was accidental and what was an inside joke between the creators.
Back when I was a kid, you'd still would see them on very rare occasions, but you'd still see them. A product was built that you install on a, well, it actually came as a whole unit, called the Wizard. It was basically a gasoline powered bicycle.
Yeah,
and they're really cool, and they're still around. You can still find them very, very rarely now, but they're worth just astronomical money.
The original origin of him is that he has his power from mongoose blood.
Okay, but shouldn't the briefs have been the yellow part? Because, now it's like if he does whiz himself, it's on the only part where it would show.
I'm sorry, say that again.
If he does whiz himself, it's on the only part of his costume where it would show.
Oh, the guy on screen. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
don't know who the hell you were talking about. Well, no, that's one of the most pathetic looking characters I've ever seen.
He was created in 1971.
That little Mickey Mouse thing on his forehead kind of like kills the whole feeling.
I have to ask why, since Marvel already had, a couple of speedster characters.
I don't know which ones did they already have at the time.
Well, the Flash was DC, right?
Yeah, Flash was DC, but the Marvel had Quicksilver all the way back in the 60s.
Yeah. Okay.
And Superman could outrun everybody. I mean, there's just, there's no superhero more powerful than Superman for anything. He could crush them all like a little bug.
Well, they did have the Flash and Superman run a race at one point in the Justice League, or was it Justice League, or was in some, was one of those, it was in that continuity somewhere.
Well, I don't know who won, but it was fixed.
I don't think either of them ended up winning. They got interrupted.
Yeah, I didn't actually see the comic, but I thought it wound up with like some gangsters or somebody meddling in it.
The Scarlet Chart. That's disgusting. I love it. Oh man. See, yeah, I did see that. I rejected that whole movie after that scene. It's just like, this is bullshit. It can't be real in any way, shape, or form. There's no way Batman could beat Superman.
Sure, he could.
No way. No way.
He has his kryptonite ring. He can beat Superman.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that a 10-year-old with kryptonite could beat Superman?
Superman
it's always
could fly
the kryptonite.
So fast.
It doesn't matter.
Superman could fly so fast, and fly right through Batman's chest before the kryptonite would even affect him. He was going so fast. Yeah.
Batman has a protocol for all the Justice League to take him out if he needs to.
Yeah, Iron Man has the same thing. He's got specialized suits designed to take out each one of the Avengers.
The actual truth behind the way they ended the story is that Superman doesn't kill people. So there was no way he could win. And besides, he came back later.
Well, the protocols are designed in case any of them go corrupt. So in the case Superman would be killing people.
Well, in Bizarro World.
Well, maybe if he's mind controlled by some other villain, or
red kryptonite could turn him evil.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, it has an effect on me, baby.
Yeah, with the Avengers, it started with Iron Man building the Hulkbuster armor. And after that, he kind of decided he needed to build one for every superhero around.
Then there's the rare pink kryptonite.
pink kryptonite?
Does
Yeah.
that turn him trans?
Yeah,
Turns
turn
him
him
gay.
gay.
It turns him gay.
Superman.
That was actually came from a parody comic they did.
Yeah, unfortunately, his partners always complained about him being faster than the speeding bullet.
Well, in more recent years, apparently they made his son gay.
I heard that.
Whose son?
Superman.
Superman's son. That it is canonical in the comic.
Yeah. So he took all the bite out of the character. They ended up just making him an activist, and he didn't really use his powers to, fight his activism. And they made his boyfriend basically invulnerable. So kind of took all the flair out of that.
How did they make his boyfriend invulnerable?
He could become intangible.
Now, see, that's the power I've always wanted. To be able to become intangible and just, walk through solid objects.
But the best superpower is the one I gained when I retired. I gained the power of irrelevant. Everybody ignores you because nobody really cares anymore.
What was it you said again?
Irrelevant.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Well, I had named Sloth Girl's son Extra Man because his superpower was always to be useless and redundant. But see, now he can't be Extra Man anymore because now he's the only man around.
Who?
Sloth Girl's son.
Oh. I thought you were talking about a superhero. I'm confused.
No, I just made one up for him. Well, Sloth Girl, actually, I commissioned an art piece for Sloth Girl for her birthday. So it has Sloth Girl drawn as a superhero. With the caption, Sloth Girl will save the day. Eventually.
I do like that little comic, that little image that was done for him.
Yeah, Sloth Girl's superpower is that she's so slow, especially in a hallway, that she pisses everybody off and they do away with themselves.
The villain gets tired of waiting to do their monologue and goes home.
Oh, well, that's junk.
Oh, there was the turtle from DC Comics.
The turtle?
The turtle?
Yeah, he was a Flash villain.
Okay, did he have a shell?
Yeah, he's the opposite of the Flash. He's just the slowest man on Earth.
Yes.
Okay, and how was this a useful power?
Well, I think the best effect was in the CW version, or Arrowverse, where he produced a slowness field around him. So basically, instead of running fast, he slowed everyone else around him down.
Okay, so he has a time bubble that he slows down.
Kinda.
Didn't the professor of Futurama invent something like that? I don't know.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
hey.
I'm not sure if the original version of the character had that.
Hey, 401. Yeah, well, Sloth Girl is adorable, but yeah, she can also get cranky at times, especially if she hasn't had enough sleep. Or if she's hangry. If she was expecting dinner and I'm late with it, yeah. That's why I put dinner in the slow cooker before the stream started, so it'll be ready for about 6 o'clock. Oh, I still haven't packed for my trip. Tomorrow I am leaving. Going down to southern Wisconsin to pick up the van. But I'm going to spend a week down there working for my brother since he put in so much work on the van.
I'm trying to get an answer for or something on GM crops here. There's been one issue I came across is the research which tends to get gatekeeped by the companies who make the GMOs. And I've been trying to figure out if that's still a thing or not, because all the articles I can find only go back to like a decade or more.
Yeah, you kind of jump subjects there, so you maybe need to fill people in. But I know you were working on a video about GMOs.
Yeah, it's a question I've been I came across it on some articles talking about how the industry, the companies that make the GMOs will kind of gatekeep the research and studies that get it published. And I figured this is something that kind of needs to be addressed. This in the video, either this is actually a problem with it or not. Because I can't exactly present. Well, here's thousands of studies saying it's safe for somebody to come along and say, yeah, but they gatekeep all that, so they, of course they're going to say it's safe.
Well, and of course that's something you can see, U.S. corporations doing if they can manage to suppress it. But that's a question of how could they suppress various universities from it.
Well, the big suppression I was able to gather is that they make it hard for them to get the hold of the seeds to study in the first place.
Yeah, I've heard they're quite tight about that, about who gets the seeds. Something about that was illegal to resell them, I think I saw.
Yeah, you can't resell them. But I'm looking forward to getting these tomatoes I ordered. They're the first commercially available GM crop.
Well, again, we go back to the thing that, basically all the food you eat is genetically modified just from the last 1,000 years of selective breeding and such.
Well, when they're talking about GM, they're talking about taking a gene from one organism and putting it into another. So
yeah, but that's what I mean. You have to define it in the context you're using it.
But there are other things I've came across that they did make some pretty good points about the whole concerns of dangers of it and all that. For instance, so you're being very specific with the gene and you're adding and all that with the GM crop, where other methods you can actually get much more variation.
Yep.
So that's a
if you left it to them, if you left them to them today, you wouldn't get broccoli from a GMO. What is it? There's like at least 7 or 8, common things you'll find in the produce section that are all derived from the same ancestor. The broccoli and cauliflower and all that. I forget what the group is called.
Brassica.
Yeah, the brassicas. Yeah, that they're all derived from the same ancestor like 500 years ago.
Mm-hmm. It was first perfected and put out for public consumption back in the just before the Bronze Age. Okay, when they mixed those vegetables with the brassicas with something like I think it was a form of corn, some kind of grass. You end up with bronze.
Hey, Vonrek.
There's a name I have no idea what it means.
What?
Yep. Topic of the day, Vonrek. You've got to tell us what your name means.
It's Russian. It's Kenov.
It's Russian? I would have thought it was Germanic.
Kenov. Kenov. Russian. Yeah. I'm just making that up, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, with you, I'm never sure. Yeah, well, I said just made it up, and that checks. The baby name comes up with nothing for that one.
All right, well, I'm sticking with Kernov.
Well, it's not meaningless because it's you. So I guess Vonrek means unique on the internet.
Well, that could be the meaning of the name is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
what
like
we're
that.
deciding it is.
I think that's perfectly correct.
Yep. Of course, Vonrek, you made up the name, so I guess you get to decide what it means.
Oh, ick.
What's that?
Oh, America's Test Kitchen is making something that I cannot believe people would actually eat.
I've seen a couple of episodes of them doing that. I don't watch it myself, but sometimes Soft Girl has it on when I go up there.
I've never seen them make something I would never eat. This is raw salmon chopped up into about 1 inch cubes. Okay, then there's some scallions in there and this brown sauce and that brown sauce and this sugar and that salt and blah blah blah, and then they mix it all together and they eat it raw. Oh man, how can you do that? Raw fish. Ugh.
Yeah, there isn't very much that I'll eat raw.
Oh, and it looks like something the dog wolfed down and then chucked back up. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, good seaweed. Not dumb.
Well, I did find a Vonrek Academia online. Apparently, it's the for beginners to programming expert site.
Is it the same spelling?
Yeah, VNVONREK. I had to translate to English to read the site though.
What language was it in?
I'm not sure.
Ugh.
Okay, well, he says Von and Rek are both used in words and names in Russian.
See?
Yep. So Jenny was right. I thought it was Germanic. It is Russian.
Is that going to be a bonus in my paycheck this week?
Let's see what language this is.
Why not? I'll double your dividend for the month.
All right.
Okay.
Spanish. That was in Spanish. Okay.
Okay. So now I'm curious, what do those mean separately? Okay. See if it gives me anything, but nope. I'm trying to put. I tried to put Von in a Russian English translator, and it doesn't give me anything. It just says translated from German. So I guess since they're only parts of words and not complete words, it can't give me anything for them. Although it says Rek was translated from Sudanese, still didn't tell me what it meant, so it actually wasn't translated at all. Oh. So yeah, Vonrek has to decide what it means. Okay, yeah, Von is son of in German. I knew it was a common prefix to names in German. I should have added that to the list. At when my fiance and I had been talking about, with the marriage thing, I pointed out the thing that in Minnesota, the marriage certificate only says bride's last name, groom's last name, and name you will be known by after the marriage. So there is no requirement there that it had been anyone's previous name, and you could put anything you wanted in that space. So one of the variants we came up with was just saying son of in 4 different languages.
Son of, huh?
Yep. McSvensonsky.
You see, if you're going to do it with the name Son of, you gotta have a middle name that starts with an A and have the last name Bitch.
I'll have to add that one to my list.
Wouldn't that be fun, naming a child Bitch? And then have to go through elementary school and all the administrations and all the teachers that get all so upset, and all the parents, the right-wing parents that would be upset. And boy, that would be just a lifetime of fun, wouldn't it?
Well, there was somebody who named their kid Hitler.
Oh, how tasteful.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have gone over real well where I grew up. Was 85% Jewish. Yeah, I've got to remember all the rejected ones I had and write them down.
Yeah, I'm guessing after World War II, the name Hitler kind of fell off the charts.
Yeah. I think even Adolf, took a really big dip then.
I don't know. I've known like 4 or 5 people named Adolf in my life. Of course, I came from a German city, so that's a bias.
Wes says he has a cousin named Violence.
Oh, that's weird.
Yep.
I remember there was this girl when I was in 5th grade, and there was this girl who was in that school named Precious.
Yeah, I had met a woman who named her daughter Treasure.
Yeah, see, I hate those kinds of names.
And apparently it was a theme they had going, since the mother's name was Jewel. Precious Jewel.
Oh God, that's
Yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
Maybe Dad should change his name to Diamond Cutter.
Well, the name I've been using on Steam is Anarchist.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Well, it's very appropriate when I'm playing war games. I am unfortunately one of those people that, in a multiplayer game, if I see that I'm not going to win, I just tend to kind of run around making sure that nobody's going to win. If I can't win, I'll just see how many people I can take down with me. Which can be fun at the gaming conventions.
Back in the early days of playing PUBG, there was this guy had this real weird name. We'll just call him Bob because I can't remember his name. And his whole thing was not to play the game and get guns and go shoot 'em up. His idea of the game was to make his character be a naked man, with underwear on at least, and a cowboy hat, and to run around the map and try to make friends with people and to get them to run along with him to have fun and play on the various things instead of shoot guns and things. And it's amazing how many people he got to actually follow him and do that.
So basically, he made the naked cowboy from New York.
Well, yeah. I think the Naked Cowboy was the original, but nonetheless, it was brilliant. He was an English guy, and it was just he did it so well. The way he would talk people into putting down their weapons and let's go play. It was just very, very funny. Just sadly he quit doing that.
Yeah, well, at the conventions, people got to know me, and then at times, people would actually try to bribe me just so that, when I started just randomly doing everyone, that I'd go easy on them. Trying to pay me off with candy bars or cans of pop or things.
I have to admit, though, that those shoot 'em up games, they're awfully gratifying when if you're doing a battle royale where there's only one person survives. Those are pretty exhilarating to win.
Yeah, I've never been any good at those shoot 'em up games. I just am a bit too slow on the processing and reflexes.
I was rather surprised to find the naked cowboy here representing the Tea Party movement.
Representing the Tea Party? Yeah. Somehow I think they didn't really appreciate that endorsement.
No, he ran at one point. He ran in for president in 2012 as a candidate representing the U.S. Tea Party movement.
Okay. Oh. I just remember the last mayoral election in London resulted in a terrible fight between Lord Buckethead and Binface. Yes, they had two candidates who were both running wearing garbage pails on their heads.
apparently Jimmy Kimmel is in the fight of his life, running for running for re-election as mayor of Dildo. That's a Canadian town he's mayor of. You know.
Well, I still want to know when Vermin Supreme's getting into office.
Say again. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
I still want to know when Vermin Supreme's getting into office.
Vermin Supreme?
Yeah.
Where is he running?
He runs for president every so often.
Oh.
I want my pony.
Promises everybody a pony, huh? Well,
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
You never heard of the guy?
Nope.
You know, we should run the Megatron from the Transformers for office. You know, under the platform of elect me and I will not destroy you. I mean, at least it would be honest. I know that sort of thing has happened, you know, from time to time about cartoon characters or fictional characters being elected to office. I'm not sure how they handle that. Probably have to run a special election after that.
Here, Vermin Supreme.
Oh yeah, I have seen him. The guy with the boot on his head. Yep.
Yep.
I do remember seeing him on TV.
He's a Trumpy?
No, he's not a Trumpy.
Wow, look behind him.
Yeah, I know.
think he's only there to say he's running against Trump.
Yeah.
How does he keep that boot up?
It's a well-fitted boot. See?
He's probably got stuffed inside with something.
He's got a Tulsa button.
Bullwinkle J. Moose was actually elected once as the mayor of International Falls, Minnesota.
No, Frostbite Falls.
Well, no, Frostbite Falls was the name they gave it in the cartoons. But the actual name of the town was International Falls.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Well, see, had Lex Luthor was president at one point in D.C. And oddly enough, he actually did a better job than Trump.
I'm thinking not. I can't. I just can't imagine it'd be any better or any worse.
You just imagine that a literal comic book villain did better job than Trump.
Well, Trump basically is a comic book villain.
No, unfortunately, he's a biblical one. And there's all these crazy people who agree with him. Oh, God.
Anyone see? I think he means Marjorie Taylor Greene get upset at a reporter about it after asking about conspiracies. And yeah, because she supported a lot of QAnon stuff and then claimed that, you know, that she had broken free of that and wasn't buying any more conspiracies, but then continued to rant about conspiracies.
Who said that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember hearing her mumble something about that.
Yeah, that when QAnon finally got enough exposure, she decided to say that, you know, she had broken free of that, but, you know, was still, of course, going on with all the conspiracy theories about the election being stolen and everything like that.
Did Lauren Boebert pull out of the race?
No,
what or was that a dream I had?
Well, what turned out was it was clear she could not win in her district.
Yeah,
so
I know that.
She moved to a different district.
Yeah, I know that part too.
Okay, well, as far as I know, she was still running.
Well, Nikki Haley's recently dropped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does leave a question of will her voters then support Trump, or where are they going to go?
Oddly enough, if they're not really sure, there actually some of them are going to Biden.
I've heard them quote a number of them stating something quite similar.
Yeah, there's a significant amount of the Republican base who just, doesn't trust Trump anymore, and even is scared of what the Republicans in Congress are doing, because they realize, mostly it's, of course, women realizing that the Republicans are taking the rights away.
I actually don't think enough women realize it.
Well, it is changing some numbers in the polls, but I don't know, how great a thing it is.
It should be absolutely number one for everybody, male and female. It's they're taking away rights. They're taking away. Just think about what that means. The implications down the way. If they can do that now, why can't they do it all later? And they will.
Well, we just need to work with them in a bipartisan way.
Yeah, that'll surely work.
Well, that's the Democrats' idea.
Yeah. Well, Biden has to go ahead and expand the Supreme Court so that we can get some decent rulings out of there. Because it doesn't matter whether he does or not. Next time, since the idea's been brought up, next time there's a Republican president and they've got, a minority in the Supreme Court, they're going to expand it.
Except Biden can't do that. Only the Congress can do that. He can only approve it.
I guess I hadn't seen the specifics about that. I thought it was something that the president could just appoint extra members.
I don't think so. I mean, it might be true, but I can't imagine that something that important would be okay. Sign a paper.
Yeah, it's Congress that has to do it. Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution gives Congress the authority to change the size of the Supreme Court.
What did you guys think about that ruling that the Supreme Court just did about the Colorado ballot and Trump?
I call bullshit.
Well, the thing that surprised me was that it was a nearly unanimous thing. But apparently, different justices came away with different reasons for it. Hey, Skits.
What bothers me about it is that one thing that the Constitution actually says is that anything that's not a law in the Constitution is up to the states. And the Constitution says that somebody like that should not be allowed to do that.
Well, let's have a look.
But it doesn't say how it is to be adjudicated. So therefore, it belongs to the states.
Yeah. Well, and also the Constitution does specifically give the states rights to run the elections any way they choose.
But of course, we then have to look at the downside of that is, okay, so we get our guy settled away. What's to say that can't be played upon us?
Yeah, that all the red states can't take Biden off the ballot.
Yep.
Well, I'm guessing where they're getting the idea of Congress has to do this is the Section 5 that states the Congress shall have the power to enforce this by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. So Section 3, no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elect or president and vice president or hold any office in civil or military under the United States or under any state who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislator, or as any executive or judicial officer or of any state in support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemy thereof. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove of such disability. So if we're just going to look at section 3 there, it basically seems to be saying that, yeah, the states can say, yeah, you're not allowed on the ballot, but Congress would have to come in and say, yeah, you can go on the ballot.
Yeah, well, that was basically, what I heard was, that the Republican or the conservative majority of the court was saying that Congress had to make the determination of who could or couldn't be named on the ballot.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they're getting that from section 5, where, like I said, that
okay.
says the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. But if we're looking at section 3, how they ended with section 3, it doesn't seem to really say anything about Congress having that power.
The Supreme Court in the Dobbs case, along with removing women's right to abortion, actually removed their own power to judicial review of laws, because that's not in the Constitution. I don't know, the thing about the whole Roe versus Wade thing that really got to people was that it was proving that this court does not care at all for previous court precedents, that they can completely ignore any precedent they don't like when they're making the ruling, which basically came down to they can overturn anything they want without having a reason.
Well, that's always been true. Any Supreme Court can ignore precedents and make their own decision. That's one of the bad things about the Constitution, is that it's never really over.
And here's the thing: we can there's actually the ability to ignore the Supreme Court. That has been done before. Supreme Court makes a ruling, and the president goes, "I'm not going to pay attention to that."
Yeah. Well, that's why.
I believe that happened with slavery, if I remember correctly. Well, I've got a Molly here at my feet.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's why if the Democrats get back in power, they had better be passing some of this stuff as actual laws, because even the Roe versus Wade thing, Congress could still, overpower the Supreme Court there and still enshrine abortion as a right in law.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's just a matter of, will there ever be the votes in Congress to get it to pass?
Their ruling on that was not about abortion itself. It was always about procedure and that sort of stuff. So yes, that can always be done. And that's why everybody was so mad at the Congress for not having done that sometime in the last 50 years.
Well, the whole Roe v. Wade case was never about abortion. It was always about a patient's right to privacy.
Right, but the fact is that no Congress, right or left, has tried to enshrine it one way or the other in Congress, even when they had the votes to do that.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to play games with it as an election pawn.
There were certainly times over the last 50 years that the Democrats would have had the votes to do it.
I'm looking at Obama, seeing as he ran on saying he'd do that, and then when he got into office, he didn't.
Yep.
Sorry, we can't do that.
You know, and a lot of that stuff gets halted right in the House of Representatives because those guys get elected every 2 years. No matter what they do, it becomes an election issue because it's so proximic to the last time.
And it's shit like that, that disenfranchises voters and gets people not to want to vote, go out and vote in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What of course pisses me off about it, and I'm sure pisses a lot of you off too, is the majority of people want to have the right to abortion, and why are these House of Representatives such fucking cowards all the time? What it really comes down to is that they're not willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. They're completely un-American.
I have to step away for a moment here. Be right back.
Yeah. Excuse me. Allergies kicking my ass today. Yeah.
Everyone, hi. What's gonna happen?
I don't know.
How could I forget the name of that movie?
I don't know which movie.
Well, I guess I would know the title if I knew that.
Well, what's it about?
Slim Pickens riding the bomb down. Peter Sellers. The atomic bomb back in the 50s, 60s. God damn it. You're supposed to remember. You're young.
Dr. Strangelove?
Yes, that's it. God, I hate that I can't remember that shit.
Remember, Kofi has a very similar theme to your favorite movie.
What, Failsafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes and no. Yeah, it's very similar. Being of the same generation, I bet you they were within a couple of years of each other in release.
Yeah. There's some questions about even releasing Failsafe because of that movie.
Really?
Hmm.
I hadn't heard that. Tell me more.
Oh, they were, if I remember correctly, they were worried about how it was going to be interpreted, seeing as one was more comedic and the other was more serious.
Oh, okay. Did you ever see the film The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming?
Nope. I'm not even sure if I even heard that one before.
It's a comedy. A Russian sub ends up docking in New England. I forget if they were stranded or it was intentional or they're defecting or whatever. But they invade this New England town and get co-opted into being citizens and stuff like that. And it was just funny.
Okay.
We can talk again. Purple's back.
All right.
There was another old one. I think it was called The Mouse Who Roared.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Was-
about the little country beating the United States in war but
Well, no,
having
they didn't
having
beat
to
'em in
call the war
war. It was-
purposely so that they would lose, so that they would get benefits from the United States.
Yeah.
But then they ended up winning.
Yeah, actually, they were afraid of getting too much aid. Hey, Robin. Okay, what does Robin mean? Mage, you'll probably type it in faster than I can.
A bird.
Right. Bright fame.
Yep, I even made a typo doing it, so I didn't even get anything. It's hard to type with only one long finger on the right hand. It really slows me down. Not that I was ever able to really fast typist. I think the fastest I ever got up to was like 45 words a minute.
Well, you should 3D design new fingertips and have them 3D printed for you, and you can glue them on.
Yeah, I've actually asked if somebody could do that for me, but I haven't found anybody with a 3D printer who is going to do that. See, the best way to do it, I think, would just be to, 3D scan my left hand and then just, flip that to be a mirror image to make replacements for the right hand fingers.
Yep, but you can't just do it off of a scan. You have to still do the drawing. It's a 3D drawing so that it has that file type to run through the printer.
Yeah.
But then you can just go online and find somebody who does 3D printing for commission and send them your intent, and they'll quote it, and then you say yes or no.
Yeah, well, I don't know any of the drawing software either. But mostly I wanted to do it because I thought it would be incredibly fun when people shake my hand and the fingers fall off. We would have to film reactions to that.
You could glue a GoPro onto your forehead.
Yeah. But don't you think that would be great to just, strangers, and especially if I could do it shaking hands with political candidates?
Well, it'd be poorly on there if that was the case.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Just, not using enough glue for it on there.
It's more like a glove.
Yeah, that's actually something. I need something like that. Just so that, they'd bend where they're supposed to. Yes. Just on my right hand, 3 of them I'm missing, from just below the top knuckle.
Yeah, so it looks like he's missing all but the middle finger and thumb on that on the left hand.
Those are the 2 important ones.
Yeah. Well, that's the part I got lucky about. The only one that wasn't as serious damage was the index finger. So I still have the index finger and the thumb there.
Yeah, hard to say how many he's missing on the other hand. There are at least 3.
Yeah. I think it's actually all 4 of them on the right hand.
Yeah, probably all 4. Hard, like I said, it's hard to tell from the angle.
Yeah.
Of course, then there's the walnut people who were on the Dick Van Dyke Show who had no thumbs.
I forgot about them not having thumbs.
You know that episode?
I know that episode.
Yeah.
I love that scene when she comes rolling out of the closet on the pile of walnuts.
Yeah, I watched that show in reruns so many times. I don't really remember any of them, but I think if you started talking about any of them, it would instantly come back.
I liked it when it was new. I'm not a fan now. I really don't care to watch it.
Yeah, I used to watch it on Nick at Night.
Oh, Rob!
Well, yeah, it did go very much with her being, the traditional 1950s housewife.
Yep.
She really didn't have any character development beyond that.
Yep, and even Sally, the writer, whatever her last name was, she had this non-traditional job as a woman, but she still laid down to all the stereotypes.
Yeah. That was why for the Mary Tyler Moore show, originally the character was supposed to be a gay divorcee, but then they changed it to the story of her being jilted at the altar because they thought some viewers would be confused and think she had divorced Rob Petrie.
Except she wasn't gay.
Well, she was gay in the more common use in the 1960s. Not
Wait a
gay in
minute.
the sense that it was used by the late 70s. Okay, Vonrek says he found this, that the name Von means hope. You can let baby know what a heartwarming symbol he is for the future, Old Norse in origin.
Oh, and rec is a Norse word for rectum, huh? Rectum hope.
Well, no, I guess his name means wrecking hope, so he's destroyer of dreams.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that. That's very good. Especially with that avatar, it looks perfectly appropriate.
Yeah, he's got another wolf head thing. I take it it's a anthropomorph. I just get the way the head is. I get that he's standing on two legs.
And why does everybody get upset at necromancy? I mean,
I don't know.
yeah.
Zombies
Yep.
are so messy.
Yeah, Robin, that's what Mate said, that your name means bright.
And famous. Well, yeah, but Batman is what made you famous. Robin
Okay, bye,
Robin
Vonrek.
is the only name that has a paint named after it.
And thanks again, Vonrek, for being such a long-time supporter of the channel. I'm sorry, Jenny. I just had to say that before you sped off. What were you saying?
Nothing.
I've got a dog staring at me. Probably wanting something.
How'd you pick Molly's name?
She came with it. The actual full name that she was Molly May.
Yeah.
So I just kind of shortened it.
So Molly may or may not. Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna have to wrap it up before too long here. Just because I'm gonna be leaving tomorrow and I still haven't packed, so I still have a lot of stuff to do. And also now I've got to help Sloth Girl because yesterday I found a used rocker recliner for her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the problem is now she doesn't have enough room in her living room, so I have to go and take apart some other furniture to make space for it.
Recliners are nice.
Robin Hood. Was Robin Hood like Red Riding's father or something? Actually, probably the other way around. Red Riding was probably like Robin Hood's mother or grandmother, because I think she was around first. But
Yeah,
the
she was.
The Hood family.
Red Riding Hood. It's a much older story.
yep.
Actually, I'm not even sure if we even know the origin of that story.
Oh, I would bet it's one of those everywhere themes.
I'm not sure either, but I know there's a YouTube channel that covers that kind of stuff. That he digs into the origins of folk tales and legends like that. And I can't remember the name of the channel now. But if you search the messed up origins of, it'll come up, because that's the title he uses on most of them.
What's his name?
Yeah, but he's, I know he did a whole series on, all the fairy tales that were Disney movies based on, that were all the messed up origins of Snow White and the messed up origins of Cinderella, and those all like that.
Yeah, it's a good channel.
Yeah, he does seem to do a good bit of research for his things, so. Oh, so yeah, maybe we should start wrapping up here, and I'm sure we'll dawdle a bit. So, excuse me, Jenny, have you got anything going on?
Well, tomorrow's food bank day, so I have to be sure to get there. But I have a conflict with my psychologist appointment, so I don't know which I should do. And one's got to suffer, Maybe if I get to the food bank late, they'll still have stuff. It's a really small food bank.
Well, that's tough.
If you don't get there on time, you gotta have literal fights with other people in the line, and some of these old people are so fragile. I feel guilty punching them out and stuff. Oh, and then it would be Beck's show on Sunday.
Yep, I'll likely be on Beck's show as well on Sunday. It's 6.
And you just put out a garden video today?
Yep. There's a link to it right there.
I saw it. Did you say that was an oak tree?
Yes.
An oak tree.
Yeah, an oak.
Huh.
I think it's some kind of variation of a holly oak I have in my yard. I'm not entirely certain though.
It doesn't look like any oak I've ever known.
Yeah, I've had difficulty identifying it.
I mean, the individual leaves are what's strange. All oak leaves are one contiguous leaf with pointies or roundies.
Yeah, like I said, I think it may be some version of holly oak.
Well, if I think of it, I'll have to check into that. That's interesting.
Well, March 31st, I'm scheduled to be on the Kentucky Atheist channel with Ospol. Yeah, that's about all I have coming up, other than, of course, doing this every Wednesday. And as I said, tomorrow I'll be driving down to my brother's to pick up the van, and I'll be down there for at least a week. But I'll bring my laptop so I can still do the stream from there next Wednesday.
Never mind.
Nope, nothing. Yeah, Robin was saying Grimm Brothers. Yeah, I think the Grimm Brothers were the ones possibly who first wrote down Red Riding Hood, but I
Yeah,
think it passed around as a folktale for, maybe even a couple hundred years before that.
yeah. All of their stuff was passed. They just collected a bunch of folk tales, so they didn't
Yeah.
actually come up with any of those. I do believe they altered some of them though.
Oh yeah, they
Yes,
did. They did
because
some
they were
rewrites.
so gory and horrible, people wouldn't want to read them.
Oh no, the Grimm Brothers versions of them were still horrible.
Yeah, but they were made less horrible. Is how I understand it.
Yeah, they may have made them less graphic, but there was still a lot of people dying.
Brothers Grimm. I wonder if that's where our use of the word grim comes from. Time to look up the etiology. And why are salt and pepper the universal spices?
Well, salt, of course, is a basic mineral that you just, need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Even to the point that the saying of somebody's worth their salt comes from that Roman soldiers were given part of their pay as a weight in salt.
Which pissed them off because they all wanted to buy Xboxes.
I think pepper probably being the other one, just because it was, one of the spices that was common throughout Europe, so it was, easier and cheaper to obtain than most other spices.
And if those DNA guys want to do anything, they should create a version of black pepper that'll grow in the Midwest.
Yeah, offhand, I'm not even sure what climate it needs. I never looked up how it was grown. Yeah, the problem, up here in Minnesota is just that we have such a short growing season.
Not this year.
Yeah.
We got a field down here that is completely green.
Yeah, that's the weather we're having now. They can start putting stuff in 2 months earlier than they usually do.
I would have to completely relearn how to the garden and up there.
Yep.
Well, it's easy. Everything in the dirt by May 31st, and everything is dead by October 1st. It's easy.
Yep. Usually the rule of thumb for gardeners up here is you can't put your seedlings in before Memorial Day because you could get a killing frost up to that point.
That's also one of the reasons why we have a lot of set plants that are not seed. That you buy them, they've already got a month into their growing cycle.
Yeah. Well, and when I lived up in Michigan, I did that for my sister's garden. That I started a bunch of seedlings, in a rack down in the basement. Yeah, so that, she would have plants that were a couple inches tall by the time it was safe to put them in the ground. You get at least a month ahead on the growing season that way.
Yeah, it's usually a good idea.
Unfortunately, you can't do anything about when the season ends and when it decides to start snowing. So yeah, the season up here, Generally, you've got 3 to 4 months. So yeah, only at best a third of the year. Oh, I get back. Yeah, I can't wait to get this beast of a car back to my brother. I have not enjoyed driving it at all. And unfortunately, it is also a gas guzzler because it's got the big V8 engine for no particular reason.
Well, it is a reason. There's a reason for it.
Yeah, the guzzle, guzzle gas.
No. Much more importantly, the V8 engine is important, particularly for American men, because it announces their penis fantasies.
Ah,
Yep.
yes.
You know, actually, as a man, that was one of the things I used to say. You know, that if guys with small penises have to drive these huge trucks and these sports cars, what does it say when I drive a hatchback?
Means you're poor.
Well, in some ways it was fun to drive an old car. You know, because you always once in a while you have these idiots, you know, who you can see creeping up, waiting for the light to turn green, and you know they're going to try to take off like a speed demon. You know, and it's fun to race them because if I beat them, they're humiliated. If they beat me, congratulations, you beat a 10-year-old station wagon. What the fuck did you prove?
You know, with all men and all the things that they do to advertise an enhanced version of their own being, their own, well, genitalia, let's say it. You know, we could avoid all of that hassle if we would just start making these little pins, you know, like lapel pins that are of a penis and balls. You know, they vary in length. They have a, you know, little scale ruler next to them, and you could buy them from like 2 inches to 8 inches, and maybe then figure out some symbol for beyond, and you know, they could just wear that on their lapel pin, and everybody knows, without them wasting money on a big gas guzzling car or something.
It'd be a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. You just get a long sock and a couple of tennis balls.
Well, you certainly understand where all the huge fish stories come from when you see what men consider to be 8 inches.
I used to be able to buy in a fish store. You know, it was sold as a gag. It wasn't tried. Nobody was trying to con anybody. But they would sell a ruler, and each inch was actually about 3/4 of an inch long.
Yeah. Yep, I'd seen those. Well, see, that's why we should go metric. Because what guy wouldn't want to say he's 15 rather than 6? You know, and what woman wouldn't want to say that she's under 100?
Even better, he can say that he's 150.
All right. Yeah, I figured we'd get off on some other weird topic here before we were able to sign off. So, yeah, I need to go now so I can get stuff ready for my trip. Make sure I don't forget anything.
Okay, well.
Besides the usual stuff, I've got to bring tools with me to do the jobs he wants done.
Well, don't hit your head when you trip.
I shall try not to, but yeah, actually, the last time I took a serious blow to the head, it was from a beam dropping on top of me, but
Well, that explains some things.
Well, it explains the scar on my forehead, and it's not actually a lightning bolt.
It's not what I was thinking of, but okay, I'll accept that.
Well, see, I know what you were thinking of, but that would only explain one time being hit on my head, and it wouldn't explain the 5 or 6 times.
No, but you do that drool going, so.
Kind of like when I got
Yeah.
smacked in the head by the car door.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
I did get smacked in the head by a freezer door once.
I was a little kid when it happened. Good thing, because your fingers are so tiny and they can fit in places. I got my fingers slammed in a car door.
It happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it latched.
I did that once because one of my girls was getting out of the front seat of the van, and I closed the sliding door, not realizing that to get out, she had grabbed onto the bar between the 2 doors.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I slammed the sliding door on her fingers.
Yeah, I remember my friend had completely lost the nails on the fingers that got slammed. But with me, it was raining. It was raining hard. I was trying to get into the car quickly, and the door was sticking. But it was like when you pull on it, was like suddenly pop open. But since I was in a hurry trying to get it open, the thing popped open, smacked me right in the face, catching the edge of the window right in my eye. Fortunately, I had my sunglasses on, so it protected my eye. But I had a nice gash over the eye, and kind of sat there for a moment, and then got my friend into the car, and like, what took you? I turned around, and my entire face is covered in blood.
Yeah.
Oh. You okay to drive?
Way back in the 80s apartment I had that, the refrigerator door opened so it blocked the door entering the kitchen. And I was walking in just as sloth girl swung the freezer door open and hit me so hard that, it was a seeing stars moment. I didn't quite go down, but I was stumbling around and not entirely coherent for a while. Oh,
I found Molly's mechanical ball.
mechanical ball?
Yeah, it's the thing that the ball spins on its own.
Oh, yeah. I've tried things like that. Sammy tends to be scared of anything that makes a noise, or not really scared, but he just avoids it. So Ethan does seem a more playful one.
Well, he likes that one ball.
Yep. So before we go, I do need to thank all of our subscribers, the people who help us keep the channel running, pay for the StreamYards, that kind of good stuff. The Lavender Lady, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, who was here at the beginning. I don't know if he's still here. Vonrek, who just left. Southern Sale. Skits Crasher. Yeah. I definitely appreciate you helping me so this doesn't wind up being another bill for me every month, because I'm still scraping by. Yeah, that's going to be the one thing with going and getting the van down is I'm estimating the round trip is going to cost about $150 just in gas. Okay, and oh, yep, where's that link? And just once again, I would ask if anybody has a bit to spare. You know, I'm managing at this point, but if you could please help support Jyuni. She's no longer homeless. That somebody helped her get a deposit on an apartment. So now she at least has a roof over her head and a door she can lock, but she has an empty apartment. So if you can spare a bit to help her set up housekeeping in her new place. And there's her Linktree link in the side chat. So you can find all of her other links there, her Kofi link if you just want to send her a bit, or she's also, taking commissions to do artwork. So with that, we will bid you all a good night. Goodbye. Well, guess it's not night yet, but it may be night depending where you are. Yeah, actually, I suppose to the people in the UK, it's past 10 o'clock at night now. So good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it happens to be wherever you are.
Good whatever.
Good riddance.
Yeah, for people on the internet, we've got to come up with something like that. That you can't say good morning or good night because you've got people on different continents. So we need something that's all encompassing for every time zone.
Peace, love, dove, man.
Okay, that's homework for the side chat. All you people work on that and bring us suggestions next week to discuss. Bye-bye, all.
Later.
Bye-bye.